Welcome to the NZ Nomad Runner podcast. I'm your co-host, Chris Lucas.
And I'm your co-host, Charlotte Milne.
And we're run coaches at CMF Running, where we coach runners and athletes of all abilities to any surface, any distance races. Today we're previewing the first half of the Faultline course, the Mila course, from the start to Porirua, which is also the first, 35 odd Ks of the 100K?
Yeah. It's this course, apart from the smaller distances, but anything from the 100 mile to the 21k sort of starts along at various points along this whole course. So throughout these couple of videos that we're going to do, we'll mention
join in the shorter distances.
as
we go.
And this is the start of X of the 100 mile, 100k, 50k, and the 24k.
Yay! So yeah, we've just run, so this weekend past we did the first of our CMF group runs on the course. We ran Whareroa out and back just on Saturday, just gone, and on Sunday we did Belmont from Dry Creek to Porirua.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. It's always good to be able to get out on course, especially, obviously with any trail. Like the trail is, so specific, right? Like it's hard sometimes to get the exact kind of vibe of the trail. So, it's really cool being able to get out on the actual course, experience not only the what it's like underfoot, but also maybe some of the weather as well, and what it's like in that area. And also it's just good for that muscle memory as well, knowing that this section is going to look like this. But obviously, if you can't, for whatever reason, like for example, if you live overseas, we have a few, we have Curly in Aussie doing the Mila. She can't come over for this. Hopefully, this video will give you some insight into what it's like, so you can imagine it opposed to visualize it.
Yeah, that's why we like doing these course videos, to help folks that aren't sort of in the area, to help break down the course and aid stations and all that kind of stuff, and help you prepare for your race day.
Yeah,
what to expect. Yeah,
for sure. And especially like when you are doing ultras, it's obviously good to break down the day into chunks. This ultra, it has hubs and it has aid stations, and it's quite easy, it's to break down into hubs, and they're like 20 to 30ish k's apart. So yeah, that's kind of like what we'll do today in terms of the sections.
Cool as. So yeah, if you're going to be around this weekend, so the weekend of 5th of April, we're going to do another group run from Ian Galloway Park to Arrow Valley, which is the start of the 50k course, basically. And so there's a 32k option and a 36k option. So I'd love to see you there. I'll share the link to register. It's all free and everything, of course. I'll share the link for that to register, and hope to see you there.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Yay. So should we start at the start line?
Yes.
Starting at the start line.
It's a very good place to start.
Yes. And it's a nice first section, really, because it breaks down nicely. You can see on the bottom of the screen, like the elevation profile there, that first big chunk, up, down, up, down, up, down.
Yes.
It's like sort of 3 distinct climbs, and then you descend around that 35k mark to the Totora hub. So it's quite a nice, broken down very nicely, isn't it? These sections.
Yeah, this ultra definitely is like this 100 mile race is definitely a hilly 100 mile race. There's obviously some significant sections where there's some significant hills, including the start. So it's a good course to make sure you don't go out too hard on, because you'll be paying for it later on, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's a good mix of elevation in this first section. Like they're quite steep, these couple of climbs here, aren't they? I remember that second and third one, eh?
Look at it on the. Look at this. That is basically straight up.
Straight up. Yeah. Yeah, no, I do remember that one. And so, yeah, it's quite easy to sort of generate too much power hiking up those hills, you're fresh and early and all your metrics are still low, you feel fresh, you feel great, your heart rate's low, but it's quite easy to still push quite hard up climbs like that. And on the downs too, I have to say, like it's quite easy to just let go a little bit too much on those steep downs on the other side. And I think, looking back at because I ran the Mila last year on this course, and looking back at my race and the file of it, and just reflecting, I pushed a little bit too hard up these areas also, and paid for it at the very end of the course down here. We were just looking at it before the podcast. I was looking at it, and I was moving very slow. The last 21 k's of the race took me almost 4 hours, wasn't it? 3 hours 45 or something, which is it's not terrible, but just in comparison to how fast my kilometers per hour was in these early stages, where there was more straight up vert. I was moving much faster, so it's just quite funny. It's just always a good reminder that Mila is so long, and it's very easy to just overcook it earlier on. And not that we're saying like you're trying not to slow down, because invariably you do slow in most cases in a miler. You just do slow as your body breaks down and you get fatigued and you do slow. But if we can reduce that rate of slowing, that rate of fatigue a little bit, so it's a little bit more even, you tend to have a better race outcome overall.
Yeah.
You'll feel a lot better too as you're in that space.
Yeah, for reference, Chris did, you did 23 and a half hours, so still a really decent time. But yeah, it's there's lots of ways to obviously get to a finish line, and I'm so excited to see what happens to me out there for running this distance. In terms of what happens, it's
good experiment.
Yeah, it's like a lot of unknowns. Like if this is your first 100 miler, even your first 100k, because it's a pretty decent 100k as well. What's going to happen? And it's like that fine line of your personality type, if you're like, okay, sweet, I'll just be really conservative, real controlling, in terms of my output and all that, trying to be perfect, right? That's me, probably. I'm trying to be perfect. So it doesn't happen to me. But it is different.
Yeah, I don't want to feel like shit all the time.
Whatever I do not want to feel like shit.
I want to feel good all the race.
Yeah. But I know, from last year, your start was really fast. It's probably good to point out that these purple lines are where the old course for the 100 miler started last year. So
there's 2Ks not in it this year. Yeah. 2Ks less there, it's just starting a bit further on.
But yeah, it was quite a fast start, right? It's flat.
Yeah, that was flat, that 2Ks. Yeah.
Whereas this year, obviously it's a little bit of flat, but this bit here is like that gradient, where if you were going out for a short run, you probably could run up it.
Definitely, you can see in the elevation profile down here.
But it's definitely for me, being a mid-pack kind of person, it definitely would be a hill that I would, have to walk mostly, and jog a little bit.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So it's 8 odd Ks, 400 meters. So yeah, you're looking at that 50 meters a kilometer sort of ratio, which isn't, on any non-miler day, you're running that all day, aren't you?
Yeah, it's it's a really fun hill to actually run, because it's it feels like
you can still run up it aerobically and easy, can't you?
Yeah, but it's not flat.
But in the context of a miler and preparing yourself, to be out there for, whatever it is, 27-ish hours. It's these are the places where we got to look after ourselves, eh?
Totally.
Yeah.
So it's really important. Obviously you don't have to be perfect, but like to run your own race, and a miler is a zone 1 to zone 2 effort. Effort, not necessarily even heart rate, right? It's like a lot of when RPE is very appropriate is in a miler, because you can be pushing quite hard, and you can still be like zone 1, zone 2 in the early stages.
Yeah.
But you can, if you think about it, you're probably like a 5.
Yeah.
I can definitely be a 5, like power hiking, but my metrics would say that I'm not like a tempo effort.
Yeah.
Or high aerobic.
Yeah, and that's what we found. Like, we've trained, many runners to 100-mile success now over the years, and that's a common thread, is especially once we get someone into that 6 to 8 weeks out from the race, they've just gotten so miler fit. They're so fit by then from doing these slow aerobic activities. They can end up doing a tempo run on flat during the week, tempo pace, and the heart rate barely gets out of zone 1, and that's these are the sort of things that are a good thing, as a result of training for a miler. But you can also lure us in, get lured into a false sense of what's sort of happening. And so that's to your point, where RPE becomes such a valuable tool in the setting of a 100-mile race, especially in that first sort of 4 to 6 hours on race day, when you're just tapered, you're fresh, your heart rate's low, which is where you want it to be, and but you still got to be checked in with yourself constantly about, is my effort good? Is this a good effort? Is this that sort of RPE 2 or 3?
Yeah, and there's also that nervous anticipation as well for the day. You kind of I think sometimes that can cause you to run faster than you should, is because you're just pumped up on this kind of it's just that nervous anticipation, and you're getting rid of some of that adrenaline. But hopefully once the initial start has happened, you can just take a moment to be okay, I'm actually doing this now. I'm just about to embark on this big journey, and just take a moment for yourself. Well, I will be doing that anyway.
Yeah, settle into the day, eh?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
get into the mode, mode of miler mode.
Yeah, the start
cruise
is
mode.
Yeah, the start's quite hard, right? Because you're there early, you're sort of standing around, sort of making small talk to fellow runners, but you're really quite nervous, and you're just all that kind of normal stuff.
Mentally preparing yourself for a big day.
Yeah.
Have I got everything?
Yeah, not really. Like me, I don't know what I'll be like, but sometimes when I'm like that, I actually find it really hard to make conversation, because I'm pretty much just thinking about myself and in the day, and it's probably okay.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
It is about you that day,
Yeah, cool.
So first climb, like I said, be careful.
Yeah.
But so the nature of this whole first section, really, it's that sort of hard packed. I mean, I guess it is once you have this first bit is a little bit of single tracky kind of stuff, isn't it? A little bit. But certainly once you get onto these other climbs, it sort of becomes more of that 4-wheel drive kind of track, or it's access roads to the pylons and stuff. So it's actually really well graded. There's not any big ruts or anything like that. So that this park, so to speak, gets used for a lot of you see motorbikes there, 4-wheel quad bikes, mountain bikers, runners. So it's really well used. But the actual the roads that you're running on, it's hard packed gravel. What would you say? Anything else about them? It's quite straightforward, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just, yeah, I would say that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's like
It's sort of the moral of the story of the Faultline course, really, isn't it?
hard packed and
Yeah. Hard packed, steep ups and downs. Yeah.
It's that kind of course that also can beat you up. It's like in some this is why, if you can, it's like good to get on the trail and stuff, because you get an experience of it, because obviously like some trails are just like a bit more technical, or they're more runnable and they're softer underground, so it's more inclined to go faster, but it's just ups and downs and hard pack, so it's be careful not to go too hard.
Practice those downhills in your training.
Yeah.
Get those quads nice and conditioned.
Definitely.
Often, a lot of folks make the mistake of putting a lot of emphasis into training uphills, and while that is important, you still got to go downhill on the other side. And the thing about our quads is once they're gone on race day. So that's the downhills. So definitely practice those downhills as well, like in your training. So that really does sum up this entire section, really, doesn't it? Hard packed gravel. Is there any rocky, bouldery bits? Not really. There's a couple of, I remember on the weekend there was a couple of bits where there's like some bigger sort of rock things, but you can just run around them. There's a couple of water crossings, so that's important.
Yes.
So this will become one of the Faultline folklore folk stories, tales, whatever. It'll become one of the stories of Faultline, I guess, that we'll come to know in years to come. It'll be like the Tarawera, should I use poles or can I use road shoes kind of a thing. This one will be, should I change my shoes at the Porirua Hub? Because there's at least 2 water crossings. I'm going to say 2. Definitely 2 water crossings in the first 35 k's of the race. And so if you're someone who doesn't bode well getting wet feet and it causes you issues, then I would seriously consider changing your shoes at the Porirua Hub.
Yes, that will be me.
You're going to do it.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to just put on my other, obviously not my main trail shoes, my secondary ones, that should be all good for 30 odd k's, and change it and just make sure my feet are dry, otherwise it could just cause all sorts of funny problems.
Of course, the only reason why you wouldn't do that, I guess, is if it's a wet day.
Right.
Then you're going to be wet anyway.
Yeah, well,
even so, if it's kind of like showery on and off, then you'd still warrant doing a shoe change, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because there can be a difference between, obviously, because the water isn't, you have to go through it.
There's no way around it.
Yeah, you have to go through it, and
it's in these two valleys, isn't it?
Yeah, and it can be quite deep. Like some of them are quite deep as well. Not like up to your waist deep.
You're not swimming or anything.
No, but they're shin deep. Nice water. Well, nice water. If it's hot, I guess you might want to get fully in, but it's also between the hours of 5 a.m. and 4 or 5 hours later.
Yeah. So you'll be doing a shoe change. I didn't do a shoe change last year because I typically don't have too many feet problems in terms of like skin or issues or whatever from that. I did change my shoe. No, I didn't change my shoes at all for the whole race.
You've never changed your shoes?
What do you mean?
Oh, yes, you have. The first one you did.
I did change my socks at Skyline Hub at 100 k's and had a look at my feet. They were fine, and put the same shoes back on.
Very good.
Yeah. So something to consider for this section. Other than that, it's just like we said. Steep, a couple of steep climbs, which is quite different because these climbs are longer and steeper than sort of what you see later on in the course. Like there is some longer climbs, but just not quite as steep sort of later on. I mean, you've got Boulder Hill here, which we'll talk about today as well. Yeah, it's definitely not as steep. I can remember distinctly like these two climbs in the first section of the race last year, and I was like, whew, these climbs are way steeper than I thought. You know?
Yeah.
I remember thinking that at the time, I was like, man, this is steep. Yeah. Whereas Boulder Hill, to me, I don't know, it doesn't feel too bad.
There's some reprieve in it, I think,
Yeah,
as well.
there's some little like
Yeah.
bits where it kind of levels out for quite a bit, eh? There's even some little running bits, isn't there? Like on that. It's
So only
it's
just like the
4Ks,
top
isn't
bit
it?
really is steep.
Yeah.
Steep.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Whereas this one, these couple here, very
Relentless.
Yeah, very steep. So yeah, that pretty much covers us to Totra. Let us know what you're going to do with your shoes in the comments below. We'll be curious to know. Let's do a poll.
Yeah.
Shoe change or not shoe change? Cool. So the next section is this like little flat bit, really, isn't it? Looks like it's just all completely flat running all the way. Well, it's a net downhill as well, really, isn't it? But last year I was expecting to just be on the Hutt River Trail, which is that flat, flat bit. I was expecting to be out there on the Hutt River Trail for the entire time, but not the case. There is some single trail sections. Yeah, around this section here, I believe, before you cross over. There's a bit of bush and single trail, and I remember being a bit surprised by that, but it was nice. And there was, you can't really see it on the elevation profile on the bottom, but there are some little ups in there, I think I remember some stairs.
Oh, yeah.
My first set of stairs for my Faultline day. Just small little ups. Nice little single trail, and that was cool. And then you cross over and basically all out on the open on the Hutt River Trail, State Highway 2 on the other side. Not much to report really on that. It's just that sort of fine white kind of gravelly stuff.
Off-road.
Off. It's not path or anything. Although there could be a couple of like concrete little sections that you cross. But for the majority, it's just that white. I don't know if it's limestone or I don't know, whatever, but it's just nice running. Although, like I will say as well, which we alluded to earlier, is I did take some walk breaks on this flat section. I'm not really a flat runner. Like I'm not a strong flat runner, if that makes sense. Not strong in the sense of like I'm not very economical. On the flat, so I do get like a sort of this cardiac drift thing happening when running continuously on flat, even if I'm running easy. And so someone like me, I do find it useful to take the old walk break on the flat. So that's what I did, and we are out in the open, and it was sort of getting to that mid-morning, isn't it? Would have been getting to mid-morning, like we talked about. It was a mint day. Sun was out, and it was probably getting, you're starting to warm up and all that kind of stuff. So, don't be afraid to take the odd walk break.
Check in with your RPE radar.
Check in with the RPE. If something's feeling slightly harder than you think it should, then take a 1 minute walk break. 1 minute. That's all it is, folks. 1 minute.
Yeah.
1 minute walk breaks are just amazing. They do so much for you, like especially when you're earlier in a miler like this and you're fresh. It's just like a little reset. You can use that 1 minute to take half a gel, take some water, whatever. It's just a nice
take a breath.
Take some breath. It just resets your breathing. It brings your heart rate down. It deloads the legs a bit. Couldn't recommend it more.
Sounds good to me.
And so I did that quite a few times.
Cool. And also I think like it's this is, well, we noted down that it was 49 Ks, but we'll just put that 49 to 50 Ks, I guess. A significant sort of milestone in a race. It's 50Ks. So
when you get to Dry Creek, yes, 50 odd Ks through the mile. Yep.
And so it's like, sometimes it can pull you in as well, which is obviously a good thing. It's always good to be pulled in, but it's like, I don't know, sometimes it's like maybe it happens naturally, the PBs of other distances in a miler, but if it's like, making you run faster than you probably should be, then just don't do it, because save it for later. But
so then we get to Dry Creek, and second. Oh, is that actually a hub? No, it's not a hub, is it? It feels like a hub.
Oh.
It is a hub.
Yeah.
Sorry, it is a hub. So it's quite interesting because those two hubs are quite close together, aren't they?
Probably because it's the start line of the 50K as well. I mean 100K.
100K, yeah.
So it's just a happening place.
Well, yeah, it'll just be where it is in terms of the ease of being able to set up a hub, which would influence it as well, yeah. But yeah, they are quite close together, those two hubs. But yeah, where else would you put it? Sort of over there. So anyway, that's cool. But yeah, it's nice to have it at 50Ks. Like you said, it's like a nice mental thing. It's like, cool, 50Ks.
100Ks to go.
Yeah, hub 2.
100 plus Ks, 110 to 115 Ks to go.
Yeah. And then like that first 35 odd Ks, this next section is quite distinct too, really, isn't it? So you leave the Dry Creek hub, and it starts off with the Boulder Hill climb, which is
4 Ks, about 4-ish Ks, but over.
Yeah, and about 400 metres, isn't it? Yep. So it's that 100 odd metres per kilometre ratio, which is always getting decent. I'd say there's a few little sections where it's like the higher ratio in terms of the gradient percentage, but like we said as well, there's a few little flat spots in there, which kind of breaks up the climb somewhat. Which is nice.
Yeah, again, it seems like that type of hill that if you're just on any given day, and you could almost run up most of it, but it's a good decent climb.
If you're wanting to get some decent, just a hill session in, we did a session there, the other week, and so we did the hike ups to the top, and then ran down, and then there's a little loop track that you can include.
Probably here.
Oh yes, of course.
Around here somewhere.
Scroll in. This one here, isn't it?
Oh.
So you can run up to Boulder Hill. I mean, not run up, power hike up.
Yes.
So this purpose of this session would be, getting those downhill legs working. Hike up and then run down, and then you've got this little loop track, which is really cool. It's got some real steep downs and steep ups as well, and even right at the end before it drops down into the back into Dry Creek, there's a real nice steep down. It's about a K or something, wasn't it? 800 metres or something.
Yeah, it's probably about a K.
Yeah, there's this real awesome steep down, hard packed as well, so great for getting the legs going. You did a few reps up it, didn't you? Up and down. So you could even just go there and do some good reps on that 800 metre hill. That's pretty cool. Just hike up and run down, get those legs conditioned.
For sure.
Obviously you'd want to just they'd want to be ready for a session like that.
Yeah, otherwise you might be feeling it in your knees.
You do want to be able to walk tomorrow. You don't want to injure yourself as well.
But this section is pretty epic.
So you ran this, so I didn't run this one.
Yeah, because I ran it on Sunday. So I clocked 36, just over 36 Ks, not quite even to the aid station, to the mobile, and got there was some huge variances in our elevation as a group, about around that 1400 meters of elevation, and it's just you're exposed to exposed to weather. It's all out in the open. more or less. There are some windy bits that are not. But yeah, beautiful, epic views. Yeah, we were fortunate on Sunday. We had wind, but it was northerly, so it wasn't cold. Definitely a good opportunity to get a bit of windburn. And yeah, just, you know, some mixture of types of hills. Like a lot of Wellington hills are actually like quite short and steep. And there's not a lot of that kind of even long gradual hills, but there definitely are some significant ones that are definitely shorter and steeper. In farmland in this section.
It's that regional park,
Yeah.
Belmont Regional Park. So it's a this is all like open sort of farmland kind of tracks, isn't it?
Yeah, some cattle. Don't know where they'll be on race day, but there was some cattle out there.
Yeah.
And
You had to do a bit of farming, did you?
yes,
Yeah, bit of farming.
use my poles.
Move the cows.
No. But yeah, it was awesome. It was an awesome section, and even like they've done some changes in the closer to Porirua.
Yep, you can
Some
see
quite
this
significant.
This is the old bit from last year, which is basically right through Cannons Creek suburb, whereas this year we go around.
There's some pretty gnarly hills in there as well.
Yes, this climb here it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and it's like, again, like, I don't know if it was just because I had done like a decent run on the Saturday, but when you're coming into like a hub, and now when you get to Porirua you're 85k, so it's decent.
Yeah.
And so this section, it'll be interesting to see what it feels like, because it might feel quite long.
Yeah, well, there's an extra 4 kilometres in this section from Dry Creek to Porirua versus last year. That's what we checked, and this is where that 4 kilometre is in this section here.
It's like that typical thing of like, I feel so close, but I feel so far, like I've got so far to go, because 5Ks can be less than an hour for obviously like faster people. It can be an hour for and it can be over. So it's still a decent chunk than if you'd just like gone through Cannons Creek, Yeah.
And it was like road, and it was downhill as well. So it was quite a fast little section, this. And also, as you're coming down, there's a nice downhill here as you go under the motorway, and you can really just see Porirua in the distance, can't you? And you're like, cool, it's just over there. Yeah, we're just going over there. And then you got this little tiki tour here where you're going to go around.
There's some steeper climbs in there
Tiki
as well.
tour. Oh, yes, that's what I was going to show you. Yes, look at this down the bottom here. This little thing here. Look at it. Doesn't look like much, but that's a steep little... There's a steep little hill.
It's a classic Wellington hill.
Yeah, I came and met you guys. So I walked back from here. I walked from here back to meet you guys, and I was like, man, this is a steep hill. That's where I saw you guys.
Yeah, and there's a nice downhill and a bit of river trail that's to finish.
Yeah.
Which probably will be quite hot if it's a good day. Again, like it was, quite out in the whole section will be hot if it's a good day, actually. But yeah, definitely in those low-lying areas when you're not on top of a hill and the wind's probably died away.
Yeah, so I guess the difference is the exception. So, I mean, all of this part here, you got the Boulder Hill climb, the up and down, it's like the regional park, farm vibes. And then same on the other side, the Rowden Knob section, and dropping down into the Transmission Gully, like crossing where you go under the motorway. That's regional park, farm vibes. But this section here...
mountain bike vibes.
Yeah, it's more like you're in the valley more, aren't you? So you go down. This is a 10k section, I believe, from here where you go down to where you come up. So this is about 10k's, this bit here, and you're predominantly down, aren't you, in the valley a bit, and mountain bike trail, walking trails, squiggly, single trail, a lot of it. Pretty cool. And there was some water in there too, isn't it? That's what you're saying, eh? There's some creek little bits in there.
Yeah, there is. And it's a funny section. Like, when we were running it on Sunday, it's like, I feel like I'm not going anywhere.
Yes. Well, it is, yeah. I mean, like, look how small this area is. And that's the thing with the Faultline course, isn't it? You are really, like, it's a real true point-to-point, where you actually are covering quite good ground for the majority of the time. And then so when you get to a section like this, where it's like a tight little 10k section, you're like, man, you sort of experienced this at Macro too.
Yes.
Or last year, definitely. This year won't be too bad. We'll get to that on the next podcast. But, this is, sort of 10Ks of squigglies.
I'm wondering if this yellow line is the 100k course.
It is, yeah.
So they just don't even do it.
No, they don't.
Pop over.
Yeah, they just cruise right over there. So that's the 100k. The 100k is starting Dry Creek. They start slightly down the road, or they did last year anyway, just to thin the field out a bit. And then they start with the climb, which is that's an interesting one too. So if you're doing the 100k, similar thing.
So almost make sure you're a bit warmed up as well.
Yeah. Well, just don't, unless you're at the front of the field, don't go running up Boulder Hill. Just chill. It's an interesting start to 100k, isn't it? Just starting with a hike.
Yeah.
So that's good. But yeah, you get this little road bit too, just to spread the field out a bit. And then the 100kers don't have to do this bit; they just go pop straight over there.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the sort of summary of that bit there, and under the motorway, that's a pretty cool section, eh?
I actually really like. I really like the section. There's quite a good water.
Yes.
Water stream.
Round about here, isn't it?
Yeah, that if you're someone like myself that gets quite hot, like it's definitely might be worth taking some sort of. It was actually shallower than it was last year, I must say. But, maybe it might be a good opportunity to like dip down and cool yourself off.
Yep.
Somewhere or another.
Bit of water on the neck, that kind of thing makes a big difference to your core temperature and just how you're feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
Bit of water on your face too.
You got any empty soft flask? Tap that on you.
Yeah. Yep. Anything like that. So this is this is like a bit of single trail, isn't it? Single trail, bit sheltered, covered that bit, and then you're sort of out into the open again. Regional park vibes. This is still, I didn't realise this until the weekend, this is still part of Belmont Regional Park over here. Massive. So this is still part of Belmont Regional Park here, this section here. So it's pretty buzzy. Huge regional park.
Yeah, I think it's like, I can't remember, it's like 3,000, I can't remember if it's 3,000 acres or 3,000 hectares. Obviously there's a big difference between those two measurements, but I just remember 3,000.
Big.
Yes.
You can fact check that. Cool, yeah. What was this bit like? I haven't run this bit. This is just the end little section after I saw you guys.
So yes, it is like that kind of that sort of path for that sort of that sort of like weekday run kind of vibes, or the recreational walker with their dogs kind of vibes.
It's like an urban park,
that's
right?
Probably the
urban
trail.
Yep.
I think they've done a lot of work on that. Because we couldn't access it last year, that's why you went through Cannons Creek.
Yeah, there's a big infrastructure project I think going on here.
Yeah,
pipes and whatnot.
I really actually like this section.
Nice.
It's again might be another section where you take walk breaks, just like back between Totra and Belmont. I think I was definitely taking walk breaks when I ran this on Sunday. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice, and you've got the excitement of seeing your crew soon, and just
Yeah, and coming into Porirua is pretty awesome. And then you come out onto paths and that, and you go through the railway.
Oh yeah,
basically.
You do, yeah.
Did you guys do that?
We went.
There's a little underneath section where you cross the railway.
That felt pretty cool.
Yeah, and you do that on race day too. So that's like, it's pretty cool. break up the race. So you guys finished the run just here, but the hub is just across the road at this school here, which is a very cool hub. I remember last year, very well equipped. It was at the hall of the school from memory, wasn't it? That hub. Oh, you weren't there, were you? So everything's there that you need. I remember toasted sandwiches being an option on the menu.
Nice.
Which I didn't take, but
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's about it for this one, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we've covered that. Let us know if you have any questions, and I hope this helps you in your preparation for your 100-miler at Faultline. Maybe you're watching this because you want to do it next year, that kind of thing. We often get that. I hope this helps. Reach out to us if you want any help with your running. We've got a few one-on-one coaching spots currently available, which are starting to fill up this time of year. And check out our run club. We'll put the links below. CMF Run Club, $60 a year, unlimited training plans via the Training Peaks app on your watch, and a whole bunch of perks, discounts from our partners and at the CMF shop. So check that out, and it helps to support this sort of stuff that we do, putting out content, putting on free community runs. It helps to support all the stuff that we do. So thank you to our one-on-one coach runners and our CMF Run Club members for all your support, because without you guys doing this stuff wouldn't be possible.
That's right. Yeah, thank you. Thanks everyone, what Chris said. Really appreciate it.
All right, my friends, we'll catch you on the next one, and hope to see you at this run this weekend.
Awesome. See you then.
Catches. Bye.
Bye.